Do you know what it is you are wanting? Because we do. Sometimes you don't know as well as your own inner being knows, because you have launched your desires incrementally, and they have collected vibrationally in your vibrational reality. In other words, you've been launching desires largely out of contrast. But you so often get stuck in the contrast part of it, in the knowing what you don't want, which caused you to launch the rocket. But often you don't ride the rocket to the solution, you stay focused in the problem. So when we say, do you know what you want? Most say yes, because you really think you do know what you want, even though you're mostly offering a vibration about what you don't want. I want more money because I don't have enough. So you think that you are knowing that you want more money when what you're offering vibrationally is, I don't have enough. And when we say, do you know, we mean, do you offer it vibrationally consistently? There's a difference between knowing and lip service. Knowing is a consistent vibration. When you know something, we talk about beliefs. A belief is just a thought that you continue to think. And so sometimes what you believe and what you desire are not vibrationally the same. But the universe, law of attraction, is responding to what you are offering vibrationally. And what you are offering vibrationally is really what you are knowing. When we say you can bridge your belief, and so a belief about what you want is such a good thing. So believing it or hoping it is certainly better than doubting it. But knowing it, knowing a belief, means you've practiced the thought of it and you own it, and it's your default position. It's where you go. It's what you know. It's what you know. It's what you know. It's who you are. It's what you radiate. And therefore, it's what comes back to you. And therefore, there's evidence all around you of your knowing of it. And so really, what being a deliberate creator is defining what it is that you would like to experience, and then practicing the thought of what that's like until you know it. And the most wonderful thing happens is that when you know it, of course you know it because it manifests all around you. So that is in fact what holds so many people up, is that what's manifested is easy to know because you can see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it. And so it's easier to know that you don't have enough money than it is to know that whatever you want will come easily to you, because the evidence of not enough money has more of your attention. And so the thing that we hear from so many of you through your words, through the emails and letters that you write, and through your vibration, is that you mostly believe what you are seeing. Most are offering, and we understand why, but most are offering a vibration in response to what you're witnessing. And we want to get you thinking about this in a different way, because the only reason that you or anyone is witnessing, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, witnessing whatever it is that you are witnessing, is because somebody has given it enough attention that it became a manifested reality. But there is so much reality along the way that you could be giving your attention to, that you could change the outcome of the manifestation. You don't have to, and you don't want to, continue to regurgitate what you're witnessing. That's why we call it deliberate creation rather than accidental creation. Deliberate creation rather than creating by default. So if you decide that there is something in your experience that you would like to be different than it is in terms of the manifestation, you've got to withdraw your attention from what is in order to leave some room for some change. Because if you keep looking at it like it is, talking about it like it is, now when we say what is, we're talking about what you think is. Because we know there's a whole lot that is vibrationally that you're not witnessing with your seeing and hearing it and smelling it and tasting it and touching it. So most humans don't want to acknowledge what is vibrationally. You only want to acknowledge what is manifestationally. And that's old news. That's like gum that you've chewed the flavor out of. That's past tense, really. What you say, this is what is, we say, that's old news, because that vibrational ship is already sailed. It's already manifested. And it's full of things for you to witness in order to launch new intentions and new desires and. So as we're together today, we want you to focus with us. We'll help you on the vibrational becoming of things. Because if we can get you to withdraw your attention just a little bit, a lot, from what you think is, and put your attention more and more and more on the vibrational evolution of your desires, you're going to have so much fun, because that's what you came for. You came for your hands in the clay. You came for the creating. You didn't come for the creation. You came for the process of the creating, because once it's created, you know that, don't you? Esther and Jerry, many years ago, when they first bought their Texas property, the first structure that they put on the property was a tree house, a large one, in a grove of trees. And the reason they put it there is because the building projects were going to take time, years really, and they wanted a place that they could hang out on the property. And so they didn't build it, they pointed it into being. And every day, the men who were building it, a big crane came and dropped 6 big, long poles into the ground, which was the structure for this 6-sided tree house. 6 sides and 3 stories tall, and they built 1 level, and Esther said, "More, please," and they built another level, and Esther said, "Higher, higher, higher." And Jerry said, "How are you going to get up there?" And Esther said, "A rope. A rope ladder." And Jerry said, "I can't really see that. I see you with your cup of tea and your computer making your way up the rope ladder. I think we need some switchbacks." And so they went up. And every day for this nearly year-long process, because the men were having so much fun, they milked it for everything it was worth. The treehouse just got bigger and better and funner, and every day the energy of it called everyone on the property to see it. And then it was done. Now what? Oh, it's a fun place to go, but it's not nearly as fun as it was when it was becoming. It's a beautiful place, but it's not nearly as fun as it was when it's becoming. And when Esther is there, what she focuses upon is the becoming of it. She remembers the becoming of it. And she was there day before yesterday, and she thought, it needs a remodel. I need more men in here making it bigger. We could go out on that branch and over there, and shouldn't it be red now instead of brown? It's kind of tree colored, because the idea was to hide it in the trees, and now Esther wants it to not be so hidden. Everything must continue to become in order for it to call your interest to it, because you are a creator and you harness the energy that creates worlds. It flows through your thought processes and it causes things to become. And so the good news is that you are focused into a life experience with so much variety that new is being called to you and through you constantly. And the only thing that keeps you from feeling elation all through every day of your experience is that as it's being called through you, for some reason, you've got beliefs that block it. You don't let the energy flow. And when there's energy being called through you, because contrast has planted a desire in your vibrational reality, and you don't let, either consciously or unconsciously, and it would surprise you how often consciously you continue to foster beliefs that prevent your own desires from flowing. When you don't let your energy flow toward your natural desires, it slows you way down. It causes lethargy within you. It causes illnesses within you. It's like putting a stick in a fast-moving wheel. Sometimes it brings about an abrupt stopping of it, and sometimes it just wears you down and makes you tired until life then produces another desire. So the reason that we are so interested, excited really, to be with you, to chew with you about the things that are important to you, is because we have a very clear view of the desires that you have launched that are in your vibrational reality. We continue to focus like this, but it's because we want you to realize that when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, and you launch these rockets that are gathered for you. And by gathered, we mean, you know about law of attraction, sort of, kind of, you get the sense of that. Well, there's a part of you, a larger part of you, that didn't come into your physical body with you when you came. That larger part of you remained non-physically focused. Humans have often called that part of you your soul, or the source part of you. So that non-physical part of you, when you launch a rocket, and that rocket of desire radiates, it is held or given attention by your inner being. And so that rocket of desire that you launch is held by your inner being. Your inner being holds the point of focus that then law of attraction is responding to. Does that make sense to you? When you think a thought, law of attraction is responding to you and the thought you think. And so things like the thought you're thinking, even other thoughts like the thought you're thinking, other thoughts like the thought you're thinking, conversations like the thought you're thinking, conversations like the words you're speaking, people like the being that you are, all things that are likened to themselves are drawn by law of attraction. So when you think a thought with your human, physical, beautiful personality that is you, law of attraction brings other things like that to you. But, hear this, but, when you've launched this rocket of desire, when you've set a preference forward and your inner being receives that preference on your behalf and knows you want it, your inner being gives undivided, and in other words, doesn't contradict it, doesn't doubt it, doesn't worry about it, undivided positive attention to what you've asked for. And that point of attraction is very real. So when we say your desires gather other desires like them, that's why. You have an advocate called your inner being holding your hopes and dreams and desires in very clear perspective, and law of attraction is growing them as law of attraction grows everything that is focused upon. You can thank your inner being very much for keeping alive your dreams, your desires. However, the very fact that your inner being does stay focused upon what you want is the very reason, the only reason, that you ever feel negative emotion. Because you ask for it and your inner being knows you want it, and your inner being owns it and knows it and holds it. And when you don't, when you stay focused upon the reason you want it, I want more money because not having enough money is miserable. Well, your vibration of not having enough money, your misery about it, makes you contrary to your own desire. And that's what negative emotion is. You're not miserable because you don't have enough money. You're miserable because you're not in sync with who you really are. Who you really are became more and you didn't go. Because you're focused upon what you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch. Stop it. You're still chewing that old gum. You're going through the motions and you may be giving it lip service. But anytime you feel negative emotion, it always means the same thing. You have expanded. Your inner being took the expansion. Your inner being holds the expansion. Your inner being is the expansion. Your inner being is holding the expansion for you, and you're not coming because you're facing what you think is reality. It's not reality. It's old news. It was the bouncing off place. It was what gave your dream flight. It was the problem that caused the solution to be born. It was the question that caused the answer to come about. But you've got to make a decision. Are you going to stay focused upon the problem, or are you going to look forward to the answer? Because your inner being, you may not know this, your inner being already found the answer. You know why? Oh, friends, this is the part that is the most wonderful about you. When you live enough life that you identify a problem, with every particle of the problem that comes into being, the solution comes into being too. If you've got a problem, there is a solution. The question is, are you going toward the solution, or are you still defending or justifying the solution by hammering away on the problem?